Hello, dear students and viewers. My name is Rahul Raj Sir, and today we'll discuss a very important topic: various approaches to study modern Indian history from GS point of view. Okay, so this is also known as AKA, also known as historiography. Oh my God, such a tough name. So the meaning is very simple. It means the study of history writing. Okay, so uh, I'll give you one example so that you can understand what is the meaning of this historiography. Okay, like all of us have a point of view, okay, based on our understanding and interests. Like if I ask you, what do you think about Anna Hazare or Donald Trump, right? So all of you have some understanding. I'll give you one more example. Okay, suppose you want to buy a used mobile phone, okay, and you go to a shopkeeper. Then the shopkeeper will only tell you the positives of the mobile phone which he wants to sell, okay, because he wants to take maximum money from you, right? On the other hand, if you want to sell your own used mobile phone and you go to the same shopkeeper, then he will only take out the negatives. Okay, he'll only talk about the negative aspects of your mobile phone because now he wants to pay you the minimum price. Okay, so we'll keep these two examples in mind to understand these approaches. Somewhere selfish interests would be involved, somewhere only understanding would be involved, right? Okay, so now let's look at the first approach, colonial or imperial approach or school, right? So this is history writing from the perspective of British administrators and scholars, because various British administrators and scholars wrote books, okay, from their own understanding. Like V.A. Smith, okay, he was a civil servant. He wrote a book which was very popular and which was taught to civil servants and also to Indians. Then James Mill, okay, his book was also very popular, The History of British India. He never came to India, okay, but he wrote a wonderful book about India. And in this, he presented the history of India from a communal point of view, okay. Like he presented the ancient period as Hindu period, the medieval period as Muslim period, and the modern period not as Christian period but as British period, okay. And similarly, John Seeley, okay, you don't have to remember these names, okay, just listen to the story, okay, so that you understand the meaning, right? So he wrote a famous book called The Expansion of England, and in this book is the famous statement that the British conquered India in a fit of absent-mindedness, okay. This question can be asked anytime. It has been asked in optional, it can be asked in GS, okay. So the meaning of this statement is Britishers are saying that they did not want to conquer India, okay, but such situations were created because there was no political unity, there was chaos. So Britishers thought that Indians are suffering, okay, so let's give them a good rule, okay. So that's why they conquered India, and once they did it, they provided a great service to India and Indians. So can you see, this is from their perspective, okay. And like that shopkeeper, because they want to rule us, they will only tell us negative aspects of India, and about themselves they'll only tell about the positive aspects. Like for example, they told us that your polity is very backward, okay, your rulers are despots, they do not share power with anyone, Nirankush Shasak, okay, like the famous statement of Bahubali, Maharani Shivgami Devi, Mera vachan hi hai shasan, my words are law, okay. So they said that your rulers ruled like this, there was no rule of law, okay. Then we came and started the process of democratization, right? And we gave equality, okay, the modern concepts, we introduced the modern concepts in India. Then they would say that there was no political unity, okay, your society was so backward, so regressive, okay. You used to burn your widows, you did not allow your widows to remarry, you used to do child marriage, okay. Then female infanticide. Then some of you also practiced Narbali, that is human sacrifice. Oh my God, you were barbarians, okay. So it is our duty to okay, civilize you. Like you must have heard the term white man's burden or the civilizing mission, that it is the responsibility of the Britishers to okay, civilize the Eastern world, right? Because they live in the Western world and other world is entire Eastern Hemisphere. Okay, so they want to civilize it. Like another term is social Darwinism, right? What is the meaning? It is simply application of the ideas of Charles Darwin on society. It is a pseudo scientific concept. Okay, so they'll say that because there is survival of the fittest, okay, and the dominant one rules the dormant one. So we are the white race, we are the superior white race, right? We will rule you. Okay, this is nothing but law of the nature, prakriti ka niyam hai, hum kya kar sakte hain, right? And we'll give you the best possible form of governance. Okay, and Pax Britannica, what is this? So from 1815 to 1914, okay, the domination of Britain was so great, not just in India but in world, that there was a kind of universal peace. So they also said that because of us, universal peace was created. Okay, so a lot of development took place, right? And another famous statement is, which I think many of you consider as true also, that modern age started in 1757. Okay, when Britishers, okay, defeated the Nawab of Bengal in the Battle of Plassey, right? So in later classes we'll discuss that this is not the case. Okay, right. So I hope you got some idea about this colonial or imperial view, right? So let's move ahead. Let's look at the next view, which is the nationalist approach. Okay, right. So in the second half of 19th century and early 20th century, a strong reaction emerged against the flawed and misrepresentation of Indian history by colonial scholars. Okay, and the earliest exponent of this approach was Bankim Chandra Chatterjee. Yes, the same scholar who wrote Anand Mat. Okay, and in Anand Mat there is the national song of India, Bande Matram. So what he did was that he came out with the notion of Bande Matram and equated Indian nation with Mother Goddess. Okay, and his idea was that Mother Goddess is under chains. Later we'll see that the idea of Bharat Mata was also inspired by this idea. Okay, then we'll see that some other proponents will also come, like KP Jaiswal, okay, RG Bhandarkar. Now after independence, this nationalist approach gained a lot of, you can say, traction. Okay, so many great scholars came and started criticizing the colonial approach. Now most important exponent of this view from the point of view of UPSC is Professor Bipin Chandra. Okay, yes, his famous book, The Struggle for Independence. So though he claimed to be a Marxist, but he was more of a nationalist historian. Okay, or you can also call him nationalist Marxist historian. And he was very prominent from 1980s to 2014, and you can say a large number of questions in the UPSC used to come from his approach. Even today, okay, this approach is very popular. Okay, though after 2014 it is now losing relevance. So let's understand what he wanted to say, or what was this approach of Professor Bipin Chandra, right? So according to him, there were no internal contradictions in the Indian society. What is the meaning? It means that zamindars and peasants, okay, then worker and capitalist, upper caste and lower caste, men versus women. So these contradictions were superficial. Okay, all Indians, okay, were unanimous in their opposition to the British rule, right? So all sections of Indian society united under the leadership of Congress and Gandhiji, and they also won independence, right? So this view presents a very simplistic version of modern Indian history, yet it is very popular. Okay, so after 2014 now this view is getting challenged. Like for example, in 2019, okay, GS first paper, this question was asked: many voices had strengthened and enriched the nationalist movement during the Gandhian phase. Okay, elaborate, 250 words, 15 marks. So this statement is from the book of Shekhar Bandyopadhyay, right? So here you have to present the other voices also, okay, like the left, right? Then the revolutionaries, right? Extremists. So as we'll progress, we'll discuss this phase also. This phase is very important, right? 19 19 to then this 1947, right? The Gandhian phase. So now this question, now this view is getting challenged, okay, and you will find more and more such questions, okay, right. So guys, this is part one of this video, and we'll discuss the remaining three views in the second part, okay, of the video. So thank you.